Hello. I am getting ready to do another lawn mowing live stream. Hopefully, the audio is working properly through the microphone there. And we'll get started here. This is a client that I did the live stream last week. So it'll be a familiar property. Let me just switch the camera around and put it in my holder. There we go, on the ultra wide. And let's see what footage we can collect today. It's a nice sunny day. It rained last night. We had like 2 weeks of dry weather, and then it rained last night. And so everything's a bit so it's still a little bit wet there from the rain last night. But that was the first rain in 2 weeks, so it's good to get a little sprinkle. I don't mind when it's overnight, of course. Got the brand new, or it's brand new to me, the 2-battery Milwaukee handheld blower. That thing, even in my limited use, I did a video on it, a full video on the YouTube channel there, and then brought it out today. This one is 600 CFM and 17.7 newtons of force. Of course, uses 2 batteries, so and it needs both batteries, so it's not really an M18, it's like an M36 basically, 36 volt. But right away, love it. Even though it's only 600 CFM and 17 newtons of force, it instantly felt more powerful than the Crest handheld one that I was using last year, and that one's rated at 850 CFM. So not sure how those numbers, or how they come up with numbers. Maybe the testing is different, or what, but this one instantly feels a little bit more oomph to it. So really like that. Oh, and I forgot my glasses in the truck. Can't trim without safety glasses. This Japanese maple is growing quite nicely. Starting to block my vision. Trimming underneath. Making it a bit trickier to see. I'm doing under there. This new Milwaukee 2nd generation string trimmer is quite nice as well. Really liking it. The only thing I'm getting used to with it, for the Milwaukee at least, is the added weight. It's quite a bit heavier than the original 1st generation model, but I guess that's where the power, the increased power comes from, a much bigger motor. It's going to add some weight. But still not as heavy as the Crest commercial one. that original Crest commercial trimmer that they had put out. A lot of people were not too happy with the weight on that one, that they subsequently have released a newer model that has the motor on the bottom where the head is to kind of try to balance out the weight, take weight off the back. I think part of that is because those Crest batteries are so big that we got all that weight on the back. So this one's a nice balance because it is heavier, like I said, but it's not as heavy as the Crest one. And then of course the Milwaukee batteries, even the 12 amp hour battery is not as big as the Crest, big large Crest batteries. Now, of course, if you've seen my videos previously with the Crest stuff, you notice that they also had one of the things they did to mitigate weight was also release a nano battery, which was like a half-size battery. And that did help a lot with lightening up the weight even further. The problem with that nano battery was that it's not the same technology as the rest of the really good Crest battery. So while it looks good, you don't get the super fast charging that you do with the other Crest stuff. You don't get the same really good warranty. And the charging one is kind of a funny one to wrap your head around because that Crest Nano battery is only a 4 amp hour battery, but it takes longer to charge than the big 11 amp hour Crest suitcase batteries because the technology is just an older traditional lithium battery. But that only matters if you need that really fast charging. Oh wow, it's greened up back here. Look at that. That looks awesome. Fertilizers and everything are really starting to hit. I've mentioned before, this is like what I always refer to as the start of hell month. Just 1 week of growth is crazy here. About 6 inches in spots in a week. Hard to follow that whole 1/3 rule for cutting lawns when you're cutting a third off the top. Lawns just grow so fast. With our like mild temperatures, right? It's warm here in the Pacific Northwest. Got a lot of rain usually. Well, the last 2 weeks hasn't been, but there's enough rain in the ground for lawns to be pretty soft, as I've shown with the aerating and stuff. So just ideal growing conditions, and then you add those fertilizers, and things are starting to explode this week. So should be lots of fun in the next couple weeks. This is where my back starts to ache. Having to dump bags of grass. We're always collecting lawns here. It's just too difficult with it being wet to mulch or side discharge. It often seems to take much longer than just simply bagging it. You're having to double cut or triple cut a lawn. And you can just cut it once. Unfortunate that I get to dump the grass clippings there. um, on the client properties. Not every house has a greenway spur. So I don't need to haul grass clippings with me or take it to landfill or anything like that. I've yet to need to have to use multiple batteries yet on this Milwaukee stuff. Usually 2 batteries can get me through a day. With the second one sometimes, depending on the day, the property, sometimes the second one doesn't even get used. Sometimes it gets used just for one house. It really depends on the situation. I normally run this trimmer all the time on the lowest power setting, although I'm noticing right now that it's on the highest power setting. I'm not sure how that happened. Must have accidentally pressed the power button there. Power selector. Yeah, because it's looking like 3 lights lit up. It should just be on the 1 light. I don't know if that makes a difference or just changes at the top speed. Or is literally like power consumption. It's a little bit different with the 3 choices that they give you now versus previously having the turtle and rabbit mode. Now it's just like a low, medium, high mode. Big angle of keys here. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio. That's working. That'll be good. So like I said, today's the first day using the Milwaukee blower. Pretty impressed with it so far. Also received the Milwaukee backpack blower. So I have started filming some content on that one. That's the one that requires 2 batteries, but you can have up to 4 batteries for extended run times hooked up to it, or use 2 batteries just for like lighter weight, which is nice. So I just got to edit my initial video for that one, and once I publish that, then I'll start bringing out the Milwaukee backpack blower as well to test out. I am waiting on the Milwaukee lawnmower. Something I want to try out. I've only tried it once. One of my client properties, the neighbor, noticed I was using Milwaukee trimmer a few years ago, and he's a Milwaukee fan, so he had just gotten the mower and wanted to show it to me and let me try it out. It seemed good, but obviously it was limited, just a 1 pass basically that I did. So I am waiting on the Milwaukee mower. They are unfortunately back ordered at the moment. So I'm not sure when that one is going to arrive. But looking forward to testing that one, of course. I think they're a great option, the Milwaukee stuff, just for that accessibility of batteries and stuff. It's a platform that's been around for many years. Just saw a screw here. Make sure I don't drive over that one. Just throw this in my little kind of catch-all thing I got there. Just a little magnetic organizer. I think those are from like high school lockers. Something that you would stick to a locker to put like pens and things on. Found it at the house, probably one of my kids when they were in high school. I threw it in the trailer a couple years ago. Let me know if you have any questions. I will answer them periodically if I see any. But with the noise and stuff and glare of the sun on the screen, I'll just check on to see if there's questions. Other than that, enjoy the mow. Right. Spins. It's like my client just came home as well. So I might definitely will angle the phone down. If she wants to chat with me, then I may put it on mute just for privacy's sake. So just bear with me. wave to her. Say hello. She'll probably want to chat at the end. We're midway through. Sometimes she will poke out those patio doors there. Chat. Let's see. And actually, I'm going to take this whole bin back there today so I can dump these here if there's multiple. Depending on the time of year, sometimes I can do the whole backyard with just the bag. Sometimes I need to bring the bin back here so I can empty it 2 or 3 times, especially when the grass is like long like this, starting to get really healthy growing. And then because we had some rain last night, it's going to be wet underneath, so it starts to get heavier and doesn't get thrown into the bag as far. I don't have high lift blades on this mower. I've got the Gator mulching blades, so it doesn't pack the bag as well. I need to get some high lifts, some new ones. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio, as well as if you have any questions. And also let me know, I've asked this now on like 3 or 4 different streams, and nobody's replied. Let me know where you're watching from. That would be fun to know. See, I'm choosing to walk behind. Not using the salty at the moment. These with the perimeter. See how it goes, but I'll probably just end up walking. Some of you guys as well have been asking about charging batteries on the go in a mobile situation. And so I am looking at testing out some options for that. Now, that has a solution that would work. It would be generic in terms of being able to use whatever brand tools you already use your batteries. Charge on the go. At 2.5 inches, my go-to most lawns. Only ever really adjusted. There's an issue with 2.5 inches. Seems to be a good height. Gives it a nice look. It's not too short.
doing that really out of necessity in the beginning, mowing every lawn at the same height. Partly because of using like bigger mowers that have the manual height adjustment. There's always a bit of a pain to have to pull pins and stuff. It's doable, of course, but it's not something, I don't know, not something I'd want to do on every lawn. So I started mowing lawns at 2.5. And with some lawns, as you can imagine, it looked really good. And some lawns, it was like, oh, you know, it needs to be a little bit lower, or it needs to be a little bit higher. But what I learned was, by doing it at 2.5 every feet, the lawn essentially adapted to that 2.5-inch height. And for the most part, after a month or so of weekly mows at 2.5, it just kind of adapted, and 2.5 was like perfect. And looked really nice after that, once it kind of adjusted to being mowed at that height. The other thing here I'm doing when I'm mowing, side bagger, so I'm watching that bag inflation. It's kind of ballooned up. Watching for when it drops. When it drops, then it's clogged. So and actually, since I'm at the bin right here, I'm going to preemptively empty it. So yeah, when it drops like this while you're mowing, and I know obviously the airflow has stopped, and it's not the empty bag, you'll see that it starts to collect here and starts to block off the chute. So I had a little bit of space there left, and then once that would kind of go, especially with these blades, because they're just the mulching blades, not high lifts, so it doesn't, especially when the grass is wet and long, it doesn't fill the bag completely like it would with a high lift blade. There. And where are we at here? We are. We're just doing this side now. Yeah. So let me throw the phone on the garbage bin here. Gotta try to use it as a tripod. Bear with me 1 second. Alright, so should be able to use that as like a tripod now. Just took the neck mount off my neck and see if I can get a angle that kind of covers most of those and get a different angle for you guys. There we go. So that should be working, and the audio should still be able to pick up the mic. I might disappear around this corner for a second. And it should be popping back into view. Couple of passes here. This is an odd shaped lawn with the center. There's not much in terms of stripes. It's kind of back and forth over here, and a little bit on that side of the garden bed. See the rear wheels of the machine, and even the front wheels, how wet they are from this lawn, from that rain last night. Perimeter around the garden. Oh, that lilac bush smells fantastic. Watch my hands around this monkey tree. Those needles are super sharp. Looks like the client possibly left again. They were dropping off some groceries and then headed out again. I'm glad we saved this tree. Still has some work to do, but we were very close to cutting it down in the fall. It was diseased and splitting at the bottom, and I came prepared to prune it and cut it all back, cut it down, but talked the client into just doing the trimming instead. That we could always take it all the way down this year, see how it does. But it looks like it's doing well. I cut about half that tree, removed the back half here as it was all rotten and dead, but it still needs some cleaning up in between the branches. Still needs some cleaning up, some thinning out. Yeah, so this tree here, actually looking pretty nice, all the lilac. But you can see there's still a lot of dead wood in there that needs to be cleaned up. But this whole back half was gone. It was split and broken and rotting. You can see some of the big branches I took off there. Right there, there, and there. So we'll see if it survives or if it continues to rot. Ooh. It's the rest of the grass there. Let me throw this back around my neck. Bear with me. All right. I will open this back up. Ooh. How was the audio level? Could you guys hear me talking during the mowing? I'd love to get a big battery mower. It'd be a lot quieter for these live streams. But overall, that looks nice. Nice and green. Like I say, I'm not too concerned about stripes. It's just mostly just the mow.
But man, it pops, especially with that the iron I put down a few weeks ago, and then now another fertilizer I did last week. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Pretty good. A bit of thatch there on that back side I can see there. Alright, let's get this loaded up. The gate closed on me. By the breeze. Sun keeps playing hide and go seek today behind the clouds. Goes from super sunny to cloudy. So I'm going to work. Potentially. Potentially that'll work. Kind of drove over the extra there, but it should be enough slack. Put the brake on. Nobody wants to let me know where they're from in the chat. Alright, that's the thing. I'm gonna go grab that bag. That's good. What's that? Let's grab that new Milwaukee blower. Just started using this today. Very, very impressed with it. It's the dual battery blower. This one is rated at 600 CFM, 17.7 newtons of force. I can tell you it feels a lot more powerful than that. just in terms of the model I was using previous, that one was rated at 850 CFM, and I think it was in the 20 newtons of force range. And this can't explain, well, I can explain it, I just can't justify why that is, but this feels much more powerful than that other model, which I guess I can't really explain because it doesn't make any sense. You can even kind of hear it. It's got a nice variable speed trigger on it. There's no rabbit or turtle mode or anything on it. It's just always high power. It just depends on how much you're squeezing the trigger. Gives you a fuel gauge of your combined batteries there, of the two batteries. It requires both batteries, which is telling me that it's, even though using the M18 platform, that it's like a M36, basically 36 volt. Also has a nice sliding cruise control button there, so you don't even use the trigger. If you just want to hold on to, you just slide that forward, and then it has different ranges. So your hands are off the trigger. You can slide it or keep it at whatever speed you want. So that is nice. Yeah, this looks good. So yeah, really impressed with it so far. The ergonomics are really nice too. Of how thin and contoured the handle is, where your fingers go, and the balance with the batteries. You'd think that'd be really heavy, but you can see where your first position is. Like, I can literally like one finger and it stays perfectly balanced. So that is pretty awesome. And I've got currently two Forge 8.0 batteries on it. Don't need to know if I need to put these gutters down. I don't think there's any more rain forecast, but just in case, leave them the way I found them. It's always the best policy. Leave it the way you found it. And there we go. Pretty basic on that one. Yeah, really nice blower though, in terms of how comfortable it is to use, and those ergonomics, and that fuel gauge in the front. You can of course still, if you're looking at that, that's the combined between the two, but you can go to your individual batteries too and see how much juice you got. Ooh. We're all done with that one. Basic cut. I just pull the phone off here. Ooh, it's getting warm in the truck. So that's it for this one, guys. I'm going to go to the next one. I don't know if I'll be able to live stream. We'll see on the next one. It just depends on. Every day is different, but we'll see how it goes. But
Other than that, if this is the only one that I do, then thanks for joining me, and hope you guys have a great day. Other than that, maybe look out and we'll see if I can do another live stream if possible on one of the next houses here in the afternoon. All right, we'll talk to you later.